the left to be the villains.
The thing that I guess I would fight for right
Sorry, Girl Destiny, but the left already are the villains, and they've been the villains.
now, rather than just whether or not you look unhinged or not, I think there should be a fight for the framing. In a system where Donald Trump can make violent statement after violent statement after violent statement after violent statement, if somebody could look at a random person on the left and go, wow, this is too much for me, that system is deeply broken. And I think it's worth having the fight there rather than to constantly play into the right-wing framing.
Yeah.
I've been kind of bouncing back and forth between for a while over like one day I'll be like in full agreement with your stance on this, and then the next day I'm like, nah, Steven's right, and then the next day I come back. So I've been having the back and forth bouncing for a little bit now, and I was wondering, I just wanted to kind of hash it out because I think there are clear aspects of his worldview on this that are undeniable in their entirety. And then I think there are clear aspects of your worldview, especially I think you slay on the
I think you slay. Oh my goodness. This is well, that's our audience. I think you slay. Please pay attention to me, Girl Destiny.
Are undeniable in their entirety. And then I think there are clear aspects of your worldview, especially I think you slay on the on the optics portion of this, where his methodology looks horrific to an outsider. My problem is I cannot justify.
That guy also sounds like Destiny. Why do they all have that voice? The Wick voice, the Destiny voice. They all sound like that. What's going on? RFK Jr., you need to look into this. What's in our food? What is in the soy that is making these left-wing men sound like this?
I just cannot justify whether or not that matters at all. I don't necessarily think it does.
Well,
anyway,
what do you think elections are? If it's
so
popularity contests.
I was just going back over this with the exchange you guys had with Stream in preparation for this, and I think a kind of like disconnect that you guys had is he specifically doesn't care about that at the moment, and I think his justification for not caring is logical.
RFK Jr. RFK Jr. just comes back. I figured out why the left-wing men sound like that. It's because they guzzle too much man juice, bro. That's what's going on. It's too much man juice. And then all the freaking men are going to go on TikTok like, oh, I got my man juice here. Please don't clip that.
I think unless you actually think that the elections are rigged and that like genuine voting won't happen, you should care about that. There's no reason not to care about the audience's perception of the boxing match.
Yeah, I would agree. But my issue isn't necessarily whether or not I agree with you. Like I said, like I go back and forth. My issue is that I can't disprove part of, there's a certain part of his logic, which I will get into, that I don't know if you can disprove. Let me exemplify it with this example, right? In 2016, in Trump's first term, like the entirety of his first term, we all knew stuff was fucked, right? It was like this guy is bad, he's fucking up our country, this is awful, we have to win the 2020 elections. And then we did. And for the Biden's term, as rough as things were at certain portions, mostly COVID and inflation related, as rough as things were, it's like, okay, fuck it, we're saved, we're good. Well, 2024 comes along.
But like, I feel like whenever we retell this history, we just like forget how alt media was handled in all of those years and how like basically all conservative voices were banned in like all these spaces. Like just genuinely, they were just nuked from orbit. Like you basically couldn't be a conservative content creator on Twitch for sure. And it was tough on YouTube.
Sure. I don't know. I don't think I would push back on that, nor do I think it. The point mostly is that like saved from like the fascistic threat that was perceived, right?
I think the issue is, I don't know. I'm
especially
not
post January 6th. I think that's like a hard. It's like January 6th happens. We're like, holy fucking shit! He's tried to steal the election, and then none of that works out. Biden's in office. Like, okay, all right, that's not an issue. We're good to go.
I mean, I'm starting to think this is actually Destiny secretly trying to call in, like make it sound like, oh, she has like a big audience, I mean, like it sounds just like him, like a slowed down Destiny, just like him. But yes, I'm everyone giving their theories on why all the men sound like this in the chat. It's pretty hilarious. Yeah, Arcade's gonna come back and be like, the more reach arounds men give each other, the more their voices turn into that.
Sure. January 6th was really bad. Insofar as like less so of like what happened. What happened was like pretty crazy, but more so like the spirit of what was intended.
The spirit of the attempt, right? Yeah, of course. It's
intended to happen. Well, the issue is that when a lot of people talk about J6, they make it sound like the event itself was so bad, and it's like what was bad was the intent.
And the intent what he's trying to do.
The intent.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they couldn't even prove intent. Like they're always trying to argue that Trump wanted to steal the election. That was intent. And even Connor in his debate against, or Conor, I should say, in his debate against Rob was like, well, was it against? No, it was when he was debating Misfit Patriot, and he kept saying like, well, he wanted to steal the intention. He lied. He lied by saying that the election was rigged. He lied. And it's like, how do you know he lied? How do you know that Donald Trump just didn't really think that the election was rigged? We all thought that. We all still think that. So how do you prove intent? Like, what's the evidence to show that, well, he intentionally lied to try to steal the election and try to overthrow the government? And again, if that was really intention, well, he did a shitty job. That was a shitty insurrection, wouldn't you think?
All of that being said, 2024 comes around, he wins again. And I don't think you would disagree with this characterization at all. It's so much worse this time, right?
Way worse. I like it. Okay. The question is, was he like that in 2016? Or was he not at all like that? And we like made a beast. I have no idea.
I would argue
totally made
this isn't the point of this conversation, so I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But my argument would be that he would have liked to have been. He didn't understand government enough to do it at the time. He learned plenty of lessons from his first term and came back and installed sycophants everywhere he could. Now he can get away with anything he wants.
Wow.
Maybe.
Okay, but regardless, none of that technically matters. Here's where I think Destiny's view is currently at, and I don't know if I can actually logically fight this much at all. Given that happened, what happens if we win 2028? Conservative mindsets don't change at all in the 4 years that our new Democrat president is around. 2032 comes around, and we end up right back in the same spot. A Republican wins, they get a trifecta. Well, they probably, let's assume the Supreme Court composition doesn't change too much in that time. So they end up with a trifecta, and we're back in the same position, and we get the same escalation between that term that we got between the 2016 Trump term and the 2024 Trump term.
If things don't start fixing,
another 10x worse in 2032.
Sure, yeah, then we're heading towards the end of democracy, like as it is, obviously. Like if
I think at that point we're there. It's like, okay, well, and wartime.
Yeah, basically.
And I think that's where Destiny is, and I think
wait, hold on, wait. Okay, I want to make sure I heard them correctly. Did they just say that if like the Republicans win in 2032 and stuff, that it's wartime? What? Let me go back.
Between the 2016 Trump term and the 2024 Trump term.
If things don't start fixing,
another 10x worse in 2032.
Sure, yeah, then we're heading towards the end of democracy, like as it is, obviously. Like if
I think at that point we're there. It's like, okay, well, and wartime.
Yeah, basically.
Wait. So if a Republican wins in 2032, are they talking about Republicans, or if Trump like wins, like becomes president? Like, what are they talking about? So if a Republican wins, like is voted in 2032, well, then that's the end of democracy. So democracy wins because the people voted, but it's the end of democracy and therefore wartime. Like, what? Did I hear that right, guys? Or am I just making shit up? Because that's what it sounded like to me. The end of democracy. So if we vote and the people who we wanted in gets in, that's the end of democracy.
And I think that's where Destiny is. And I think that from everything I've seen just from the first 9 months of this term, I don't even know if I could logically fight that.
I don't know. I feel like whenever I look back at like the reason why civil wars and stuff happened and like the fallout of it, it's just like, guys, this is like literally the worst fucking possible outcome, and things were like fucking insane. Like if you look at like the revolution that like led to America, the colonies like separating from Britain, it was like fucking insane, the shit that was happening. Like we aren't We aren't really there. We also have a lot of
Here,
structural
hold on.
institutions.
You hit on something that I wanted to bring up. I want to stop right there. I wanted to bring this up too. The thing that nobody talks about, nobody thinks about for the American Revolution is that fucking nobody wanted to do it. The American colonists did not want to revolt at all. They tried they tried to plead with the king over and over and over and over, like, hey, please just be a little less unhinged. We have no interest in breaking away from you at all. And it was only when it was very fucking clear that he was never going to relent that they're like, all right, fuck it, god damn it, we have to.
Yeah. Yeah. War is the
but I don't
worst
see that from
tragical...
I don't see that from America right now. I see half the country begging for it.
So, okay. I think they said Dems take it back after Trump. Then after the next 4, Republican takes it back. Then it's wartime. So if a Republican gets voted back in 2032, it's wartime. What? These people are insane. And keep in mind, not so erudite's trying to like position herself as, listen, I disavow the violence. I'm not like these unhinged lefties over here. I disavow that. Like she's trying to paint herself as like the good or moderate lefty. But for a good or moderate lefty, she agreed with him when he said, and wartime. When that freaking soy boy was like, and wartime. She was like, yep. Like, what?
Oh, you mean Republicans?
Yeah.
I see a lot of Republican pundits. Most of the Republicans that I talk to, when I'm like, how do you feel about that? They're like, oh no, that's not good. Like we don't want civil war. That's bad.
You're getting that from normies?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've had a scary amount of normies be like, I think it's fucking based. I think it's about time. I'm like, okay, you're terrifying.
The issue is like the moment that you interrogate the realness of that, right? Like, okay, what are people saying? And then what do they actually believe? And when you interrogate the realness of the position, pretty quickly, most people are like, oh yeah, I guess like war's not actually good. And we should like slow things down.
Sure. I'll completely take that.
It's Antifa retards saying like, what revolution doesn't have blood? And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like you love Uber. Okay. Like nobody thinks like,
I'll completely take that at face value. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. If we like continue in the way that we are and the left stays as toxic and ineffective and unhealthy as it is, and the right stays as toxic and effective and unhealthy as it is, yeah, democracy will die. But the issue is like, the real conversation is, what are the off-ramps to that, right? There's Republican off-ramps that need to be taken that I agree are not being taken, and that is bad. And I think we should continue to criticize Republicans for that and keep holding them accountable for their like lack of patriotic value. Like they're just celebrating the decay of their own country. That's bad, right? You're economically getting nerfed right now, and you're like being like, I mean, whatever. The issue is like before this Kirk killing, Trump was down. Like he's really popular with especially his core base, but he's actually one of the least popular presidents, right? And he was down hard, like the Triple B, not being well received by anyone. Like it has been bad for him. He was down like 24 points. I believe the Epstein stuff has him down like a major amount of points. So it's like there's ways to pull back on this. The issue is like the Democrats have to take back the culture. They need to be effective at it. And ideally, they need to build a culture that will ensure that the culture that they create won't make the right go crazy. Because right now, the right is building a culture that is making the left go crazy, right? And it's understandable why the left is going crazy.
It's understandable.
The issue is like before then, the left was building a culture that made the right kind of go crazy. And we also have to take account for that. And until both sides go, you know what we need? A strong left and a strong right. Like things are bad, but the only way that we achieve that future of derailing tragedy is by being a person who's trying to derail tragedy.
The only way to derail tragedy is to be the person that derails tragedy. That's very, very good. Very good there. Very good there. So yeah, listen, the left did build a culture that drove right wings crazy, but it wasn't even just right wingers; it drove everybody crazy. Why do you think that it's swaying more in our favor? Because it's driving everyone crazy. There are how many people here on the right that used to be on the left that left the left because the left just went too crazy. It's not that, oh, it just made right wingers crazy. It made everybody crazy. Everybody who's not a unhinged lefty lunatic go crazy pretty much. That's why they're losing. And the only reason why the right wing's culture drives the left crazy is because the left are just crazy. That's it. It's because the left are unhinged. The common denominator is the left and how crazy and unhinged they are.
I
completely agree, but I feel like everything we're talking about right now is just inherently just truisms, right, across the board. The like spitting of truisms isn't really like, it doesn't really get us anywhere. The question is like, how do you actually accomplish that? I totally agree that you said like one thing that's like super true. Like upon like slight reflection, it's like, hey, I should write about that. And that the Civil War rhetoric is like 99.9% just coming from pundits at the moment, right? But the more interesting question is, how thin is the veil between punditry and the average person, and what does it take to push the average person into the opinions of pundits? If it is the case, like your issue here with Stephen is the fear that his rhetoric, that his way of handling this is going to just make him look bad, and by the transitive property make us look bad as Democrats as a whole. But then secondly, that people might come around, like believe him and be like, you know what, he's fucking right. This is the way forward. If you can possibly muster that fear in terms of Stephen's rhetoric, then it must be the same on the other side, right? Like there must be some fear that like the Civil War talk coming from Republican pundits is going to trickle down to the average Republican. No?
Yeah, of course.
So then, how do you? I just don't know how to solve that problem, because the suggestion you had was we need to keep criticizing Republicans, but have we not been doing that infinitely forever?
Well, the issue is we need to criticize Republicans well. A lot of the issues is like the way that we massively fumbled the bag from like when we had culture in like 2016 to like 2022, we fucked it. We were so fucking stupid. It was so utterly embarrassing when you look back, right? Because we thought that we won the culture war, but mostly what we did is ban people who disagreed with us, and then like thought that we won, when in reality it just turned a lot of people away. And we also let fucking insane cultural norms take over to the point that like normal people are like, I feel like I can't even like maybe voice that like, some of this like non-binary like trans kid stuff is kind of weird and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like you couldn't even say that, right? And so it's like in like social spaces. So people grew to deeply hate the left because there was like this social calling and pressure of free speech. Like people don't like that. And the reality is like the right is going to fumble the bag too, because right now it has the head of the culture war. It's clearly not learning the lessons that it should have. They're in fact doing all of the bad shit that the left was doing. And so if the left wants to be effective, like what can they do? Okay, well, the left has to shrink the tent to what a liberal Democrat is so that it becomes understandable as something that people can identify with, because nobody wants to look at the freaks shouting like, Kirk is dead and identify with that person. Nobody wants to be that person. But what is the left? Because mostly that's what people know the left to be, right? Like most normies think the left is like, they're like, yeah, those are like a little bit more extreme, but most left people like are going to get mad at you if you like don't use the right pronouns, and if you like use any certain language, and they don't like the word retard, and they like welfare and shit like that, So what is
All right, she's going on too long, but she did say a couple of true things in terms of like, yeah, the left did fuck everything up, and yeah, it was, they became socially crazy and stuff. That's true. The thing is though, is that it wasn't just like social stuff. It was like it started affecting policy as well. Like the government was in on it too. The government was they wanted to force us to get a vaccine in order to just go to work or go to social gatherings and all these stuff. Like they wanted to force that upon us. Here in California, they want to force trans people into to women's sports. They want they have sanctuary cities for illegal immigrants and all this nonsense. Like it wasn't just like, oh, like we just didn't like that you wanted us to use your proper pronouns or something. Like, no, it's like you guys were fucking tyrannical. Like you guys were absolutely tyrannical. You guys wanted to force us into doing all this wacko shit and conforming with it. And so we absolutely had enough.
the left? We probably need to shrink the tent. Should probably stop letting fucking communists
She's probably not including
be
herself
staff in our, thought leaders, major pundits that are like working with politicians. We should probably stop doing that.
Yeah, another thing too. I mean, she's not wrong. The right will probably fumble eventually as well. Not soon, but it's like I think of it as a pendulum. Eventually, now it's swinging toward the right, but eventually, yeah, the right will probably fuck it up. Let's be honest, and then it'll go back to the left. Like it'll probably happen. I hope it doesn't. I hope that it doesn't go back. We need to be smart in calling that stuff out. We need to be smart we need to be smarter than that and really learn the lessons of the left. and not be like them. But she's wrong though in that, oh, the right's already becoming like the left. Like, no, we're not nearly as bad as the left. The only thing we've done is cancel people for saying things, but it wasn't even just things that offended us. Like, they were just saying evil and awful shit. And it's not that, oh my God, I'm just offended that you said something about Charlie Kirk. It's like, no, you're clearly like an awful, like evil person. And we don't really trust you, like in this government position, this doctor position, this teacher position, like dealing with us here. Like, you clearly hate us. And we don't really feel comfortable you being in the workforce where we might have to trust you with our lives. You know what I mean? That's where more we were coming from. You guys were just like, oh, did you guys see that? 10 years ago, he did blackface. Now he needs to lose his job. Like, that's what you guys were doing. You guys were just offended at stupid shit. Us, we were like, you guys, we kind of don't want you. We don't trust you guys. So therefore, you should probably lose your job. Like, that's what the difference between the left and the right now.
It also has to develop a prominent alternative media apparatus to contend with politics. But the problem is that anytime somebody tries to make an effective media apparatus, we either, the further left group that we keep on trying to appease, like the Taylor Lorenz, nuke it, like in the chorus situation, and blow it up and make everyone not feel comfortable with it. Or when that doesn't happen, nothing even gets off the ground because the chattering class and the funders on the left always attach strings and ropes for their pet projects to a media apparatus that content creators don't want to play ball with because, sorry, you want to help fund and like get my content everywhere? I don't really want to talk about Latino ideas. And like, well, if you don't talk about Latino stuff, then we won't fund you. It's like, fuck you. Like, what the fuck is this stupid shit? Okay. Third, we need to abandon many, if not all, elite views that make you boring at parties, hard to get along with, and fucking weird. We need to like stop being academic elitist weirdos that can't hang. It's a problem, right? That's something that the progressives were good at. They were counterculture. They were cool. That's kind of why we shook hands with them. The issue is they're not cool anymore. And the liberals never figured out how to be cool, ever. They just never did it. We just don't value like aesthetic. And they should also get good back at what they're really good at, which is monopolizing creativity and showing strong business and strong nightlife. But people don't want to leave their house. People are constantly afraid to hang out with their friends because they might.
Wait. Creativity and strong. What? That's not the strengths of the left at all. Creativity and a strong nightlife? What?
They say something wrong. They're like attached to their phones, and we make it unbearable to hang out with a lot of the left because we're constantly held captive in a social group by the most woke person in the space.
All right, I'm moderate enough. I'm actually like, oh fuck, I don't know. I say like centrist because there's probably like ultimate. If you boil down,
this dude's a centrist, Mister. If the Republicans win in 2032, then wartime. This dude.
Both sides to their 2016 standards, I'd probably be. I'd lean more right than left, probably. Anyway, all of that to say, I agree with everything you just said inherently because of that like moderateness. Okay. The problem is that strategy works only if and only if. Two things. If and only if we smoke Republicans in 26 and 8.
Have a good one, Benjamin.
And then continue to do so. And alongside that, Republicans change their ways. Like this whole Trumpism, authoritarian, sympathies. If all that goes away, then everything you just said works, and we're good to go, and we should be fine for the future. Okay, like America's not going to crumble at least this century. However, if we take 26 and 8 and then just immediately lose it all again in 30 and 32, then that's out the window. And then secondly,
assuming
if they don't change,
no, that's
if they
not
don't change,
well,
we're cooked again.
I'm going to pause you. Assuming that they don't change in the 2 elections that they lose, right? The issue is that like politicians are paid.
They lost 2 and they didn't change. What? They got worse.
They lost 1, right? They lost 2020.
Then they kind of have a fucking rough ass time in 18.
Like in the primaries and midterms, they always have midterms are always bad for Republicans. That's like
so that's what I'm saying. If so,
I would say that's true. That's not meaningful to like Republicans or Republican like politicians. It's most Republican politicians are probably
so in 32, if they take a fat ass L in 28 and don't change, then But but my point would be they did in 20 and then didn't change at all. In fact, they got worse in many, many ways. In every way, really.
They did get worse, but the issue is there's a couple of issues.
You would say that was the left's fault that they got worse.
Well, it's both of their faults, right? Like it's
no
both
sipping
the
in chat,
culture
godless Christian.
that happened, but also Republicans selling out to oligarchs, right? Like it's both. Like the Republicans, I guess, I hate that I always have to say this when we have these conversations. I'm left. Have a default assumption that I don't really love Republican principles. There's a reason I'm not fucking right wing. There's just a reason for it, right? I don't agree with it, and I don't like them, right? So it's both, right? The right is bad.
So, she just said right there she doesn't like us. So there you go. Like she's always trying to come off like she's this moderate, right? Well, I'm not as unhinged as these lefties, the unhinged portion of it here. I'm not about that. But then she's like, well, I don't like them. Oh, okay. Way to turn down the temperature, erudite, huh?
In large part because they decided to sell out to bad principles. That's bad for themselves, right? It's not solely the right's fault because it is constantly a dance going on between both parties. A strong left and a strong right requires them to have some level of synergy. And I would say that this is true for the left right now. I think the right, as much as they hate how the left is acting, I'm like, then stop fucking inciting war and they'll probably chill out. Like, don't get mad at the left. Stop being fucking insane. And they'll probably...
What? God, she's insufferable. That's what all these people do. They just deflect and avoid taking any accountability. So again, it's our fault. It's like that other video that she made that I covered, where it's basically like, well, it's our fault what happened to Charlie Kirk. Oh yeah, if we were just such pieces of shit. Oh well, then there you go. Like asshole. Like we weren't the ones causing this. Like she's acting like if we weren't just such, I don't know, pieces of shit, I guess, that the left wouldn't be like that. Like no. Like we're just here trying to live our lives. That's it. We all got lives. We got families. You know, we got things to take care of, jobs, things of that nature. We just want to live our lives. And you guys are the ones trying to dictate to us and rule over us and just be tyrannical. And you guys just want to leave us the fuck alone. And then you attack us for just supporting Trump and voting for Trump. Like you guys would attack us, harass us, things of that nature. And so then you guys finally take it to the next level. You murder Charlie Kirk, all right? That you cross the line, and we're rightfully saying, well, this might lead to civil war. Oh, this could be civil war. We're rightfully now saying that because I mean, where do you go from there if you're now just murdering us? Where do you go from there? You're kind of entering the point of no return here. And so now we're saying that, and you're like, well, if you guys would just tone down the rhetoric, then the left would calm down. No, asshole. The left needs to calm the fuck down. The left needs to tone down the rhetoric. It's not us telling the left, hey guys, we're such pieces of shit. Come attack us. No, you guys are constantly demonizing us, calling us pieces of shit. And then you guys act like you had nothing to do with it when we get attacked.
Well, we chill out. Fuck, what was your other question in there? Oh.
Well, so saying that like this whole like thing of like, okay, the left needs to moderate itself and chill the fuck out and discover like who they really are and like behave on, on our side, then things can cool down. My point being that only works if they actually change their behavior.
Sure, I agree, but we can't.
If they don't, then none of it.
See, again, they keep putting it on us. Oh, we have to change in order for the left to stop attacking. Well, how then? How? Tell us. How do we change so you guys could stop attacking us? Well, if you would just let trans women use the restroom, then we wouldn't have to attack you. Oh, okay. Well, that's not going to happen. Okay. Well, then we're just going to have to keep attacking you then. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we might have to go into war then. I don't know what to say.
Matters, right?
If we're viewing this like a game, which is like what Steven is doing, right? There is no reason that we should be tying our win condition to something we can't even control, right? All we can do right now is make the left more compelling and hope that the left becomes compelling enough consistently and has an effective media apparatus, because right now we just don't have an effective media because we're still doing mainstream shit, right? That people are pulled to our side consistently to such a degree that Republicans go, oh, the Trump meta is a losing strategy now. Now we have to change. And in that change, God, I hope Republicans find fucking values in the midst of that. And we should try to work alongside Republicans that have fucking values to like try to encourage that. But it's ultimately going to be up to the Republicans.
She always ends up slipping into this. She always tries to portray herself as a moderate, and then she slips into the deep-rooted leftiness within her. Like, what do you mean? We need to have values? We do have values. The problem is you don't like our values. That's the problem. You don't like our principles or our values. That's where the issues arise. Okay? It just seems like what you want is just for us to become you guys. Well, once we just go with whatever you guys want, oh, okay, well, then you'll stop attacking us. Okay.
To like right themselves. What the left should be concerned about is being compelling enough that we are consistently reaching the hearts and having effective alt media so that we can reach the voters.
Yeah, and generally, I would agree with you. I think like where he would divert a little bit, and this is actually the most important part of this entire conversation, because this is the part of his thing where I just kind of
Dude, how is that guy not Destiny? He sounds just like him. I really think this is just Destiny trying to pretend like it's an actual listener or something.
Away from in the back of my head is that whilst it is so totally true that the only thing we can really, really technically do is just try to make ourselves so compelling that we just don't lose elections anymore. His view is that there must be some way to convince Republicans that it is in their own best interest to change their own behavior. And that is the kind of theory here of like, oh, you want me to denounce political violence? Have your fucking president do it first, right? It's in your best interest to change your behavior, and then everyone will change their behavior. Right? That's the idea.
It's just a bad look when you're mocking a widow. I'm sorry, when you're like walking.
It definitely looks bad. There's no doubt.
It's not just that it looks bad. It's inhuman. Like any human person can't connect with that. Like it is fundamentally breaks our conception of how like the social paradigm should work. Widows, unfortunately, of assassination kind of get maximal social benefit of the doubt. They just do. And you might be like, yeah, but they're using it for political aims and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's true. And it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's another good point, Suzanne. Like she keeps saying, well, the left had to be more compelling. Yeah, how much more compelling can you be? Like you've already made all your points. Like we get what you guys want. We just don't want that. Okay, we just disagree. We think all the things that you guys want just are awful and don't work. And so we just don't want that. Like, so what, you just gonna try to argue with us even harder? Like clearly, like that's not gonna work. And everyone that debates you guys are just gonna keep blowing you guys out of the water. So that's why you guys have to resort to the violence, because you guys don't have good arguments.
And you can say that privately and publicly. Unfortunately, she gets to do whatever the fuck she wants with her grief, including weaponizing it to do political ends so that her husband's dream doesn't die. She's allowed to do that. It kind of makes sense. We would expect somebody on the left to do the same thing.
Sure. Did you have because I agree with that, like there's nothing you can say about there's nothing you can say to or about her that's not going to look fucking unhinged. It's just impossible.
Yep.
Do you have particular feelings about the comment? He's been getting a lot of shit for the comment about saying like Republicans should be afraid to go out in their events. Do you have particular feelings about that comment?
Yeah,
because I think it exemplifies perfectly the point I'm trying to drive home. So
I don't know why Republicans should be afraid to go out to their own events. Like the reality is that everyone should be afraid of going out to their events because political violence is ratcheting up. But I don't want Republicans to feel like Republicans will feel more afraid in the same way that liberals do too. And I think that that's bad for everyone. I don't want anyone to feel afraid.
Sure.
So she can't just say like, yeah, Republicans shouldn't have to feel afraid. Like, no, there should be no violence against them. No, she has to make it. Well, yeah, well, we get afraid too. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. What lefty has been assassinated? Yeah, just tell me now. What lefty is afraid of getting killed? All right. Like no one. However, we're getting like everyone that does the public appearances, like Charlie Kirk, you know, he got killed, but everyone, they always have to have like security. Remember, I talked about how Riley Gaines a few years ago. Remember, she was like chased into a classroom during an appearance by some unhinged lefties. Why should the left be afraid of anything? Like they shouldn't, but she has to make it the both sides. It's like the meme of the one show with the traders where they would, you know, the best I could do is $5. You know, that meme. It's like the meme should be like, we're telling them, can't you guys just take responsibility for your actions? And then it's just her and all these lefties going, the best we could do is both sides. That's all they give us. That's the most that they're willing to give us is, well, both sides have to be afraid. No, I'm sorry. That's just not true.
Sure. I'm going to translate that to what I take that to mean. I think what he's getting at is that every side should feel the true weight of the consequences of the whatever they're participating in, right? So when he's saying Republicans should be afraid, it doesn't mean in like a threatening tone or like a threatening way of like I'm trying to incite my fans to violence. You should be afraid in that type of way. I don't look at it like in like a incitement to violence type of way, more so in a your actions would be different if you were afraid. For instance, if it was the case, if it was absolutely true that Republicans now, Republican pundits, because I mean, if anything, Republican pundits are the people that have the most to fear at the moment, right? One of them got killed, so inherently, the rest of them have the biggest reason of anyone to be afraid. If that was the case, though, if they really, 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 truly were terrified at the moment, there's no universe in which they would be like almost unanimously calling for civil war, correct?
Not necessarily true.
So if you're afraid of something happening to you, you should feed into the system that would allow that thing to happen to you.
Well, the issue is that they're in their minds, like if we're taking their position, right? What they're afraid of is like them having a rally and an assassin showing up and like mass shooting. In the case of like civil war, right? Now everyone's fucking dying, right? So like when you're talking about like inciting violence, like part of it is not that serious to me because I think that people like just are babies. I think I've realized that just like both sides are fucking children when it comes to violence. They have like no conception of what war is, right? And so are they participating in the exact thing? Yeah, because like their anger at his death is greater right now when they're making that tweet than their fear of going out in public. But when they go out in public, they might start like worrying a little bit more about that tweet that they made the other day. You know, like it's like people are not at all times working in like the long-term most rational things. This is why like people who are in like lawsuits might keep posting publicly when they shouldn't otherwise be posting because like we do shit that's against like our greater thing that we should value all the time.
True. I would give them that benefit of the doubt probably the first 72 hours after. But it's been longer than that, and we still have Republican pundits making the same dumbass comments. So I don't know if I'll give them that same charity anymore. It kind of seems like
I'm not giving.
Like imagine like they shot like one of our own, right? Like they shot and killed one of us. And by the way, I mean they also try to kill Trump. Like keep that in mind too. They try to kill Trump, and they actually did kill Charlie Kirk, right? Like they've moved on to the point of like murdering us, and they're still like upset about the shit that we're saying. Like again, like no, we you've crossed the line here. Now it's not just you can't get mad at us for shit we say no more when you've moved on to like actually killing us. Like what do they not understand about that? Like they're still here pissed off for saying civil war and stuff like that. Like dude, you guys literally just killed one of us. Like what the fuck?
Pundits any charity. I'm not even giving pundits the first charity.
I'd give them the first shit. Like, look, in the first like day or two, you're fucking furious. You're upset. Like, you're going to say stupid ass shit. But if after 2-3 days you delete those tweets and you're like, all right, guys, look, we got to calm down. All right, we got to chill. Then I'll be like, okay, he came to his senses. The problem is that has not happened. If it's still the same for a lot of people. And the point I think that he was trying to drive home there is if there was that true fear of, oh my God, my life is in danger. I would think that after a while you would come to your senses and be like, I think I need to do what I can on my side to push the rhetoric in a down or, the heat.
But what rhetoric are we saying that deserve that is the question. Again, what behavior do we need to change? It sounds like to us what you're saying is, well, just stop saying your shit. Just stop saying talking out against illegal immigration. Stop talking out about abortion. Stop talking about this and that. Like that's what it sounds like they're just trying to say. Stop talking about the black crime statistics. Stop saying that shit. And it's like, well, what? Like these are actual issues here in the country. Like you can't murder us over saying that stuff.
Into a downward direction, but we're not saying that. And what's going on there?
I think right-wing pundits, a large portion of them, like the right wing is really effective at unifying behind like a greater goal. And it's pretty clear that right now Trump's goal is absolutely not to cool things down. I also suspect that right-wing pundits, like the mainstream ones especially, are very much chasing bot likes and saying inciting stuff gets them more and more engagement, which is why they keep doing it. I think that this is true of the left, like the fringe left, like Hassan's and these type of, and like Jackson Hinkle's and stuff, although I don't even know if he's a fucking left person anymore. I think they're also oftentimes chasing like Russian and Chinese bots that are like always liking the insightful stuff. The problem is that like on the Republican punditry side, their leader is like setting the tone for like what they're talking about. And so like while they're like talking about civil like violence being like bad and how they're like worried about it, and also like inciting. I think it's because like they're not thinking about this. First of all, they're not thinking about this like game theory, and second of all of their tweets that are like inflammatory and all these things go fucking viral all the time. So they're going to keep leaning into it because content creators are going to keep milking the thing that's working.
Okay. The argument that I would like to present is that I think, along with Stephen, this is the point that he made. I just agree. I don't think that they're actually afraid of the consequences of their actions in any way, shape, or form ever. By example of this is the Trump v. US decision. When that decision was made, every single person on the left was fucking horrified because they're like, holy Jesus Christ, the president is immune from criminal liability. Oh God. Not one Republican gave a solitary fuck, because there is no concern from the right that Joe Biden is going to go do a whole slew of criminally actions that he would be found criminally liable for, and he's going to get away with it because he's now immune from that. But we know Trump will. So we are actually we have a true, genuine fear of the consequences of bad actions. I don't think that they do, and I think they showed it as soon as that decision came down from SCOTUS. It was like, oh, you're not afraid of what Biden would do. You never were, because you're not talking about this at all like it's horrible. But we were horrified on our side.
Maybe maybe it's a mind read. Like, you guys are mind reading in such a way. You can. Unfortunately, like, it's a mind read. I don't really have a super strong weighing in on like whether they're legitimately afraid of civil war or not. I think that they don't care, but why the fuck would most pundits care about like civil war? Are they being like maybe too carte blanche and should be like more concerned about like genuine assassinations? Probably, but I think a lot of them like probably genuinely believe that they'd rather like die for free speech than like be silenced. I think that that's probably decently legitimate from a lot of them. Like they would accept death.
True.
I just think that,
but I think I wouldn't criticize that if that's what I believe. If that's where I believed it was coming from, like they're saying, like I would rather just have a civil war than have free speech go away. Then I wouldn't even criticize that. I would join. I would agree. I'd be like, yeah, I mean, me too. I'll die for it if I have to.
well, more like they don't.
The Constitution.
They don't.
But I don't think that's what's happening.
No. I think like Ben Shapiro, when he thinks about like what he's saying and stuff, like really, I think he most people probably take for granted that civil war is very far away and very unlikely to happen. Like, I think a lot of people, even though they're like inciting, especially like on the side that is the one doing the inciting, I think the thing feels very far away. There might be some level of confidence of like, well, if a civil war happens, we've got all the guns, we've got all the military, we'll probably just dumpster them anyways. I don't think most people are thinking that much about that. Probably like when I try to think about like how these humans are interacting, these very non-human humans, because they're pundits, are they worried about a civil war? No, they're probably more legitimately worried about an assassination attempt. But I think a lot of them genuinely believe that they would be willing to die to continue to like say what they say, because I think that a lot of them believe what they're saying. And so like, I guess to some extent, I agree that they should be, I don't know if they care about a civil war necessarily. They care more about assassinations. I just don't think they think that a civil war is likely. Like, most of them don't think that they're inciting civil war.
Well, yeah. How are we inciting a civil war? I mean, how? But yeah, I mean, listen. Obviously, like, what are we supposed to do? Shut up? Like, the things that the people on the right are saying are things that are trying to fix our culture because you guys fucked it up so much. I mean, she acknowledged it earlier that the left like took it too far and fucked it up so much that, yeah, we're trying to fix a lot in our culture. So really, like, what you want is just for us to just be quiet and shut up and not say anything, and then just let our fucking society, our American society, just die and turn into this weird freaking whatever the fuck you guys got going on with thruples and open relationships and transing kids and this horrible economy and everything that you guys brought on, just letting anyone just come into the country willy-nilly, no safeguards or anything. Like, that's what you want society to become. And we're just fighting against that. And yes, we do believe that that's worth dying over, because if we don't say anything about it, then what are we supposed to do? Just sit back and let it happen? Like, fuck no. Hell no. We've already kind of sat back and let it happen, and look where it's got us. So obviously, listen, I want a civil war? Of course I don't want a civil war. I really don't. Who wants to go into war? Like, no one. But I mean, what else is going to happen if you guys don't stop trying to fucking kill everybody? You kill Charlie Kirk. You try to kill Donald Trump. You're trying to kill ICE agents. You accidentally killed innocent freaking illegal immigrants, the ones that you guys are trying to protect here. You guys killed them. trying to kill ICE agents. You guys firebomb Teslas. You guys are just allowing criminals with criminal records just to go out into the street and attack nonviolent citizens, just citizens trying to live out their day. Like, if you guys don't put a stop to it, then what's going to happen then? Like, what do you expect to happen? I don't know. I don't want a war, but unless you guys calm down your fucking rhetoric and completely disavow the violent fringes in your group, then I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else you guys want. But I'm going to stop here. I mean, obviously, she's not going to say anything of value. She never says anything of value. She's never will say anything of value. I just saw the headline here about should the left go harder on the right, and I had to watch because, like I said, yeah, if there's one thing that the left is totally guilty of is not going hard enough on the right. Oh, yeah, totally. Yes, yes, yes. I just thought that was an insane YouTube channel. I just wanted to see what she had to say, and clearly it's more of her insane shit. Obviously, she's still blaming us for the shit that's happening to us. If we just shut up, well, then this wouldn't happen. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, lady. So what did you guys think about it? Leave a comment in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to see more of lefties like her looking stupid, if you want to see Andrew Wilson stuff, you want to see debates, Piers Morgan stuff, I got a whole bunch of shit on my channel that I think you'll enjoy.